In today's first impressions video, we're going to be looking at the demo for Heavy Cargo, the trucking simulator. This is a very specialized kind of trucking game, which is a bit more focused on city and tight roads for special transport over the more expansive and motorway driving that you find in ATS and ETS. However, of course, I will be taking and making many comparisons between those two games and even Taxi Life, a driving simulator, because of its city elements. It seems a lot more basic than SCS and ETS, however, it is licensed and is very, very detailed in some areas, allowing you to get out the truck and actually walk around, which is something a lot of us have actually wanted from SCS for quite a while. Whilst it does boast some really, really cool features, the demo is a little bit buggy and it does leave a lot to be desired for the actual full game. One of the most desired things is going to be wheel support, which at this time is not full. For example, my wheel, the T248, doesn't actually work with it, even though it is detected, and in the settings you can see that it detects the buttons and things, but when you actually try and use it in the game, nothing happens. I am pleased to report, though, that the controller works just fine, and it really does make for a pleasurable driving experience. As always, we'll go through the options first, then I'll take you into the gameplay and show you what it has up for offers, and I will also show you the customization you get with the truck as well. Although there is a bit of confusion there because every time I've customized my truck, I can't actually drive the one I've customized. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Again, though, this is just a demo. It is just to showcase what the game has in store, and there is a lot subject to change, and hopefully some improvements and some TLC to get rid of those niggling bugs as well. With the options, there is one negative that really grinds my gears, and that is that there is no accept or back button. You just have to use the escape key. Unfortunately, one of the reasons why I don't like this is because some of the settings don't always save, and you never know if the settings have saved until you get into the game. One of the biggest things with this is the steering. It always defaults back to the keyboard, even though I'm using the controller. That's a bit of annoyance and a problem. And again, you have to press escape. You can't just click on any of these other options out. It's a small thing, but it is something that I do hope they fix for the full release of the game, just for ease of access, accessibility, and for peace of mind. The options you do get, however, are your languages, drive mode, slow trigger, slow show warnings, show tutorials, and show mirrors. It is also important to note that the language, for me at least, defaulted to German, as it doesn't seem to have Regency detection. This is somewhat annoying, but you can fix it by simply finding the options and going to game and changing the language there. Your graphics options, I'm actually quite impressed with these. There is quite a few of them. Resolution is set to 60 at 1920 by 1080, and you've got other options there. You've got your window display mode, and it does start in full screen window. You've got VSync on or off, starts off by default. You can have dynamic resolution, anti-aliasing, shadows, vegetation, texture resolution, anti-stotopic, ambient occlusion, screen space reflections, bloom, and vignette. Now, my PC is on its last legs, as I'm sure many of you that watch me on Twitch are aware, and yet this game plays really smooth. There are a couple of lag spikes here and there, but for the most part, the game works brilliantly. However, as you'll see when I'm in the game, there is a rendering issue where sometimes it won't render the images properly, and everything like the text on a lorry or the image on a lorry trailer, they're blurred out. And the same when you're driving along, things like the bus shelters and movie billboards and things are also blurred out. This is a problem, but I think it's the game, not my system, where it's just not rendering properly. And again, hopefully when the demo is, or when the full game is fully released, it won't have that issue anymore. Audio settings. There is another problem here as well. You have a voiceover, so the person that tells you the job will give you a description and will give you more detailed instructions than what the hints and tips are in the game. Problem with this is that I would expect it to be under AI volume. It's not. It's under radio volume. So if you turn the radio volume down, which most of us will because we like listening to either simulation radio, or I listen to Pretzel when I'm on stream, or, you know, YouTube, anything. We tend to listen to our own music in these games. but you can't turn the radio volume down and also have the person telling you these things. And apparently I missed a lot of important information by not having that voiceover. So it would be nice if they maybe switch that around. I'm assuming AI volume is the sound effects of the cars and things, but another option there and splitting that audio would be incredibly beneficial. Your steering, as we've already said, you can change your device here. So you can change the gamepad. It does detect the wheel, like I say, but it doesn't work in game. And it also does detect my farm stick, which is really, really cool. But again, it doesn't work, which is not so cool. If it can detect joysticks, then doing things like crane work and things is going to be so much easier, because at the minute it is a bit of a faff and not that enjoyable to do as a result. Finally, your key bindings. Now again, this is where the biggest problem with the wheel and stuff comes in, because the issue is when I select one of these and I try hitting the pedal or, you know, hitting the any of the buttons on the wheel, doesn't do anything. It doesn't change anything. And so it doesn't detect it, which means when I'm in game and I'm pressing the button, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't work. However, if I hit the B696, which is my Thrustmaster wheel, and hit calibrate, you can see that when I turn the wheel, it's detecting it. There is dead zone there, obviously, and I really like the way they've done the dead zone, but you can see that it is detecting that it's a thing. But in the game, nothing happens. And I gave up trying after loading out, loading in, changing all sorts of manner of things that I could try, and nothing worked. But that's the options. It's a very good options menu. It needs a few tweaks here and there, and it would, you know, benefit from some extra options here and there as well. Overall, very, very impressed though, and again, the game does run incredibly smooth. This is where you can customize all of your trucks and do all of the cool things to equip it, change it out, make it look really good. I do have one very big gripe though. The rest of the game is very seamless between switching between controller, keyboard, etc. However, in this screen, the second you touch your controller, you lose complete access to your mouse. It goes away, won't come back, and then you've got to do everything with your left bumper and right bumper and all that stuff. Which is fine if you're on controller. If you're on console, you're going to have to do that when the game fully releases anyway. But for PC, I really like using my mouse in menus like this and then using my controller for driving, unless I'm using the wheel, etc. It's just a little bit annoying. But there is a lot of customization you can do in the game already. Some of it is locked behind the demo and you won't be able to get it until your full release, but most features you can actually unlock early just by playing the games again, getting higher stars on those missions. But what can you change? So you can look here through your axles. As you can see, I've unlocked the 4x2, the 6x4, and the 8x4. Quite a beast, this one. Another gripe that I've got with this is you can't actually turn or look around the cab. It's just in this position. A little bit annoying. Whenever I'm customizing, I like to have a good look around and sweep around just to make sure that everything matches. But I take a lot of pride whenever I do customize my trucks. If you go here, you've got the XL and the XLX. I don't actually have the XXL unlocked yet. And then you can change your paints. You've got two liveries. You've got the Gruber and you've got the Universal Transport. And this is what I mean by when I say that it sort of takes its time to load in the renders. It seems to keep blurry. Now, it loaded in this time, but when you're in the map and you're driving around, the game doesn't have time to do that because you're rolling at a speed. So faster rendering times there would be really helpful. Here you've got your front and the paints and stuff that you can do. So you've got the front, as you can see, you've got the chassis, and then you can actually sometimes look at what the preview is going to be of the next thing, but you've got the different chassis there. You can then come out of that and you go into your front side panels, and you've got two different types here, and you can see where it changes the paint. You've got your bumper, again, you've got three different types. You've got your lower grille, your bull bars. Of these, I don't have anything equipped yet or unlocked. And then you've got your upper one as well, which is also locked out. You can go to your wheelhouse, and again, everything on these is locked out, but you've got your tread plate, your rear cover, your storage box, your work lights top, and your heavy tower as well. You've got your tires, and depending on the chassis, you get more options here, so you can change your wheels out, which is really cool. But again, everything so far is locked, but it's really good to see that they are going to be adding more for the full release. And then you've got your side panels here, so you can have different things, whether they're painted or grey. Your door handles, your trim line, all of these are unlocked until you get to the roof spoiler, the aero, and the visor, and those three are not available until the full release. Then you've got your horns. Again, you've got beacons that you can unlock. You've got your horns and everything. Again, I've not unlocked any of these yet, but it's a really nice amount of things. And then the pièce de résistance is you have an absolute shed ton of things that you can actually change in your cab as well. Some of them will be added later on. So it's things like your rear wall you haven't got yet and stuff like that. A huge amount of customization. Very, very happy with this. I think that it looks amazing, and it, like I said, gives you kind of like a SnowRunner vibe to how you set up your truck. Unfortunately, I've not been able to work out how you then drive this truck around and get jobs, because the second I exit, it just leaves me outside in the car park with no truck. Don't know whether that's because it's a demo or whether I'm doing something wrong, but that is worthwhile noting as well. Right, so we are in the game. As you can see, we have a character. You get two to choose from. You can choose the male or the female. Once you've done that, you can just jump straight in the game. It would be nice if on full release you can customize your characters a little bit, but you are going to need to be walking around and interacting with stuff, especially when you're doing your heavy cargo, because you're going to have to get out, remove barriers, operate cranes to put plates down and things like that. As you can see here, the graphics are pretty damn good and the rain is pretty awesome. Once you have finished walking around and you want to just drive around a bit, you can jump into your vehicle. Now, I've had a couple of issues with this, in that the parking brake, when I was doing a mission, was doing one of the long missions, it wouldn't work. It kept going off, and then every time I hit the brake button, it would actually turn the engine off. And it did this for about 10 minutes before it just decided to randomly work. It was very, very strange indeed. Other issues that I've had are things like the window wipers. When you turn them on, they don't sync. And as you can see, the AI is a little bit crazy. There are things like cars clipping into each other. There will be accidents all over the place. Audio issues I've had where the indicator just decides to stop working randomly for no apparent reason, in that you can't hear it, and then you just basically change your views to be able to get that to come back. Also, rather annoyingly, in the van, your GPS doesn't work. You've got the screen for it there, but it doesn't actually switch on. It works perfectly fine in your manned trucks, but in the van, no such luck. You can do many things when you're in the van whilst you're driving to each individual location. You can turn your lights on. You can't apparently turn the beacons on for some reason. It won't let you. It doesn't let you do that for... I don't know why. I don't understand why it won't do them, because you have them on. Your different views. You've got your outside view here, which is kind of cool. And then you've got your bonnet view, and then you're in the car. Graphically and aesthetically speaking, it is very, very pretty, and it really works very well. The actual truck controls are a little odd as well, because you have a lot of torque in these trucks, and as a result you will be very jumpy when you're starting, even if you've got a no load or a heavy load. The game, as I've said before, is nowhere near perfect. There are many bugs that I've experienced today during my 6 hours of gameplay, and there are many things that quality of life would just be nice to be had. The GPS is very good though, and it is pretty accurate, although I did again have a bug where I selected a location, it showed that it was selected, but then there was no GPS on the actual map itself. There was no directions there. This made it just a touch awkward to try and do anything at all. There are quick locations that you can travel to, which can severely reduce the travel time from job to job. And again, there are many jobs that you can do. There's 3 that come with the demo, and then there's that spot that we were just at, which doesn't actually work. I'm hoping that when you are in the game, full game, you will be able to just drive around in the truck you've got. and you will be able to have a lot more freedom. On the note of driving around and doing missions, you don't actually seem to get money, but rather stars per job. And what this means is that if you break road laws, you don't actually get the punishment straight away. So you've got a number of road traffic violations that you are allowed before you essentially lose a star or lose percentage on the job. Higher star percentage, the more things you unlock. More things you unlock, the more jobs and customization you get for your truck. All in all, it's a brilliant game. It looks fantastic. It plays really well. It is very, very stable, and I have very much enjoyed my time on it. I think a few changes here and there, a few tweaks, a bit of love, and we will have a game that will actually finally give SCS a bit of competition. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Ciao, ciao.